opioid overdose, naloxone could save their life. Keep it on you and at home. For more information about naloxone, visit cdc.gov/stop-overdose.
Mitchell Reif reports at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, a new service offered at a longtime pregnancy center in Delta County. Tonight, how the nonprofit is now able to provide ultrasounds. Plus, state lawmakers meet with UP school leaders to discuss education goals for Michigan. We'll tell you what they talked about. And new data about the cost of living in Michigan and why economists are now saying we may be able to avoid a recession. Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
It is so nice to see the sunshine today, Air. Are we going to see any clouds moving in at all tonight?
Yeah, we'll see a few clouds, but overall it's going to be mostly clear out there and a little bit chilly. Current conditions showing no precipitation, and that's going to be the story for the rest of our week. We'll have mild conditions as far as temperatures because they're actually warming up, but not a whole lot of disturbance as far as rain or snow. However, we could see that return on Thursday, and then this weekend, maybe some flurries, but overall it's going to be fairly dry. Current temperatures in that 25 to 35 degree range. And again, like Sarah mentioned, that sun is out there. I'll have the outlook on all of that, including your 7-day coming up in after the break.
Thank you very much, Ariane. An Escanaba nonprofit is offering a new service for anyone going through pregnancy. WZMQ's Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons has the details.
Pregnancy Services of Delta County serves local individuals and families with a variety of resources.
We offer pregnancy testing, parenting classes, educational support, material resources, and all of our services are free and confidential.
But there was another service the center always wanted to provide.
When our first center opened in 2015 on Ludington Street, there was a vision to have ultrasound, but we couldn't have such services due to the size of our previous facility.
Last March, Pregnancy Services reopened on First Avenue North in this much larger building.
We knew that was the next step, and we just got our new ultrasound machine.
The device gives clients a more in-depth view of their pregnancy.
We will be using it specifically to check gestational age and to make sure it's a viable pregnancy. If somebody's unsure of how far along they may be, they can come in and we can help them. We do hope that it offers a window so they can see their baby for the first time.
And it's made possible by the community's generosity.
The funds raised for the ultrasound unit and our ultrasound room was all paid for by the Knights of Columbus and specific donors.
Pregnancy Services of Delta County continues to grow thanks to community support, with the center now at 75% of its $750,000 capital campaign goal. That money will be used to renovate the building, which was formerly a bank, and expand the offerings that the more than 60 volunteers at Pregnancy Services of Delta County can provide for clients.
We have a heart to serve our community. We care about them. We want to support them and help them along and let people know that they are loved and cared for.
Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Escanaba.
If you're interested in supporting Pregnancy Services of Delta County or learning more about receiving services there, just head to WZMQ19.com. Michigan State representatives heard from UP educators on Saturday at Marquette Algerisa's annual legislative breakfast. The goal of the event is to foster connections between school leaders and state leaders and work toward improving Michigan's education system. The event featured remarks from state representatives, roundtable discussions, and a Q&A session all about state policies and how local districts are impacted. State representatives from elsewhere around the state attended as well.
As we're making public policy for the entire state of Michigan, we are hearing everyone's voices and thinking about the entire state, which doesn't always happen. So this is going to help make sure that happens, and I'm really glad to be here and be part of it.
Although no immediate changes came from the event, Marquette Algerisa hopes this will act as a catalyst and keep the doors of discussion open. New reports are putting a living wage at $25 an hour for the state of Michigan. With rising inflation accelerating over the pandemic, it was expected that the U.S. would hit a recession that economists are now saying might be avoidable. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has the report.
The cost of living around the U.S. has been on the rise since 2020. Since 2008, the U.S. has seen the Consumer Price Index increase by around 80 points.
We have seen a substantial spike in inflation in the last 2.5 to 3 years.
Over 12 years, from 2008 until 2020, the U.S. saw a 40-point increase in the CPI. In just the past 4 years, we've seen the CPI rise the same amount. This acceleration started raising concerns from economists who predicted that a recession was only a matter of time.
In 2022, the economy seemed doomed to a recession. And nevertheless, the GDP numbers looked quite strong.
Antonio Doblas Madrid is an associate professor of economics at Michigan State University. He says that while it would take a lot of time for the economy to cool down slowly enough to avoid a recession, it could still be possible.
The price level has increased threefold, and the real wage, so the wage adjusted for inflation, has only increased like maybe 10 to 15%.
ZipRecruiter studies show that the average salary in Michigan is around $49,000 a year, while a livable salary sits at nearly $54,000. Doblas Madrid explained that recent inflation reports show prices rising higher than expected. But with a long enough cool-down period, we could still see living costs start to even out. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Your first morning weather forecast is coming up after this break. Plus life in the 906. Jim Koski is talking about how he feels the UP has changed over the years, and in one way in particular. And a Bay College student wins a state poetry contest. Hear from the poet on what she wrote about. We're back in 2 minutes.
Save big money right now. Menards is the one-stop shop for everything you need. Get a truckload of savings on items you need every day for everyone in your household. We have it all from big to small and everything in between. Keep your entire home neat and tidy with our great selection of Libman cleaning supplies. This precise angle broom will help you reach under cabinets and tight corners. Only $9.99 each.
Save big money at Menards.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. That's because at John's Auto, communication is the key to service. When we have your car, you can expect to be updated on what's going on. And Craig here will explain repairs in terms I even understand, and I'm only 9. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Marquette.
And don't forget, we're still your #1 source for a pre-owned vehicle in Marquette County.
John's Auto Marquette.
Tune in with me for some classical classics.
Figaro! Kill the rabbit! Tune in with me, weekdays at 7 on MeTV 19.1.
I'm Rachel Knapp. Watch my reports live from Washington, only on 19 News.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
To all the comforters, we're here for you. We see all the comfort you give, and we'd like to give some back to you with a source of comfort for everyone. Experience the redesigned Serta Perfect Sleeper.
Save during the President's Day sale. Going on now. Shop Shunks of Marquette today.
Now, WZMQ 19 News First Warning Weather with Ariane Stasic.
Well, we saw a little bit of that sunshine today. That's going to continue for the next couple of days. Those temperatures are going to drop out of these 30s. We'll be down in the teens. It's going to be coolest inland here on this President's Day. Mostly clear skies. However, we do have some chances of patchy fog. Most of that's going to be in the south central portions of the UP here, especially Iron Mountain, Iron River, Escanaba, and Menominee as we make our way into tomorrow, which is Tuesday. And look at that, really reduced visibility for Iron Mountain in the morning for that commute. So make sure you are prepared with those low beams. Most of that fog, though, should be clearing out in the early afternoon. Taking a look at the next 3 days. So Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Those temperatures, look at this, 35 to 50 degrees. We are on a warming trend because that's continuing on our Wednesday and Thursday. Now, Thursday night, we've got some chances of precipitation moving in, but overall, we are looking at fairly dry conditions. Right now, our winds primarily coming out of the northeast. We do have some breezes to contend with here in Marquette and Munising. We'll see a little bit of direction change here on Tuesday coming out of the southeast there, with gusts up to about 25 in Eagle Harbor, similarly in Ironwood around 26, and then maybe peaking at around 3 p.m. close to 30 miles an hour, but then dying down later on in those early evening hours. We are sitting fairly dry at the moment. Most of the precipitation sandwiched around us there on the Pacific Northwest and over on the East Coast here. As you can see, current conditions showing not a snowflake, not a raindrop, nothing in the sky. Maybe a mosquito? No, it's too early. All right, taking a look at Futurecast, those clouds starting to increase around 9 p.m., but overall we should expect mostly clear skies tonight, and then around 9 a.m. in the morning you could see some cloud coverage here and there. Maybe some rain showers, more like drizzle up there in the Keweenaw Peninsula around 5 p.m. Eastern time there, and then on our Wednesday morning, possible very light snow flurries there in Houghton and Ontonagon counties, but overall it's going to be partly cloudy conditions. Our 7-day outlook for Marquette, we've got gusts tomorrow up to 20 miles an hour. Look at these temperatures, folks. 43, 42, 40. Those lows, woo, dipping down on Thursday evening to about 17, and then Friday even chillier in the evening, and during the day we'll have about 24 as that high when we've got those chances of flurries returning. And then taking a look at this weekend, mostly sunny skies for our Saturday, still chilly, and then we are warming up on Sunday. Monday part 1, 40 degrees will be warm again on Monday. I've got your 7-day outlook for Escanaba as well as your school day outlook for tomorrow.
Well, our 1 week of winter last week was nice while it lasted. Thank you very much, Ariane. A Bay College student representing Iron Mountain's West Campus is the winner of a statewide poetry contest. Sophomore Fiona McFadden, her poem titled Collateral was initially placed in a local poetry contest for Bay students, but her English professor then entered it in the Liberal Arts Network for Development's annual creative writing contest. Her entry won, with judges noting the attention-grabbing language and her expression of emotions. She says her poem comes from personal experience.
People hear about addiction. I think a lot of people think addiction, you can only be addicted to like a substance. And that's not true. You can be addicted to a person that will only do damage to you as long as you let them. And that is what that poem is about.
The poet hasn't chosen a major yet, but she says she's chasing her dream of becoming a writer. We'll have a link to her award-winning poem on our website and our app. Just head to WZMQ19.com. Our 19 News Insights is on the way next. We are talking with the director of the Peter White Public Library about a series of community conversations happening over the next couple of weeks. That conversation is 2 minutes away.
New CBS tonight.
NCIS! Hands where we can see them.
What are the charges?
Just one, murder.
There's 3 of us.
It's not really fair, right?
Welcome to paradise. A new NCIS and NCIS Hawaii tonight, starting 9/8 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
I had a brain aneurysm in the year 2000 here. No one was going to hire someone that had a disability or whatever. I went through a program here at Goodwill well over 20 years ago, and they hired me as soon as I was able to come back to work. They hired many people with disabilities and stuff and get them back into the workforce. My favorite thing I work at Marquette Goodwill is just interacting with the people. It's great atmosphere here and great people here. Goodwill treats everyone really good. So it's like a second chance almost, I was going to say. It really gets you back on your feet.
Shop and donate to your local Goodwill.
Baraga County Memorial Hospital, continually striving to improve the well-being of our community. Care is not just a service, it's a way of life. February is Heart Month, and BCMH is excited to welcome renowned local cardiologist Dr. Vakivagis from the Keweenaw. We're currently booking cardiology appointments and accepting new patients. Baraga County Memorial Hospital, our family caring for your family.
Introducing Paisano, the authentic pizza oven by Granite Stone. Now make the world's most delicious pizza with real stone right in your own home. You simply set it and let it make golden, crispy, extra cheesy stone-baked pies in under 6 minutes. You can get your Paisano pizza oven for just 3 easy payments of $39.99. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free.
Call 1-800-598-1889 or order online at buypaisano.com.
You're watching the award-winning WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Sarah Blakely.
The Peter White Public Library in Marquette is hosting a series of community discussions the next couple of weeks, focusing on how we consume media and particularly the news. Joining us tonight is the library director, Andrea Ingmeyer. Thank you for coming in, Andrea.
Of course.
All right, so tell us about this Media Smart programming, these community conversations that are happening.
So Media Smart is really centered around the idea that we want to empower people because there's so much information that's coming at us all the time. And there's great information, there's not so great information, there's actually destructive information, and being able to suss out which is which is really an important skill, and it's a skill that most of us have had to kind of learn on the fly because we really haven't had a lot of resources to help us learn skills that actually help in that decision-making process. So the ultimate goal of this programming is to talk about some topics that are kind of hot button topics right now, but then also really empower people to learn those skills and put them into practice.
Yeah, so go through some of the, we've got this on the screen here, but some of these sessions that are going on these next couple of weeks.
So our first session is tomorrow, and that is with Mike Sauer from Northern, and he's in the cybersecurity department, and that one's going to be around the topic of artificial intelligence, which is kind of fascinating, kind of scary.
Yes.
I think most of us are in this weird place with AI where we're like equal parts interested and terrified about what might happen with AI. And so Mike's going to come in and just kind of give us an overview of what AI is, how does it impact us locally, and then hopefully give us some tools on how you can spot something that's generated from an AI standpoint, which I think is probably what we're all interested in, knowing what's real, what's not real. So that starts tomorrow. And then Thursday, we've got Sue Ellen Christian, who's a professor at Western Michigan University. Her specialty is in information literacy. So she's going to really focus on those tools. So how can we look at information? What tools do we use to decide whether or not it's misinformation, good information, opinion? And I think that's going to be a really fascinating discussion with her.
Yeah, and of course I love this topic too. I mean, this is very interesting to me, and especially considering there's so many different ways that we consume news as well, not just on TV anymore, but it's on social media and through friends and through podcasting. Yeah, it's just fascinating. And then the other thing is you're also having a local media panel as well.
We are, and so we're partnering with the League of Women Voters, who are really good at doing these panel discussions. So when we started talking about what we thought would be an interesting component to this programming overall, we thought, it'd be really great to have, how has this impacted us locally? And we have a lot of great media resources here locally, especially for a community the size of Marquette. So we reached out to the League of Women Voters. They were very enthusiastic about the process and the event itself. And so we'll have Walt Lindola, Andrew Lancombe, Nicole Walton, and Molly Birch. So we're hitting a little bit of print, radio, and TV, and I think it'll be a fascinating discussion on how media, how local media has been impacted by this topic of misinformation.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Okay, is this something that people need to register for ahead of time or pay for, or how does that work?
Nope, it's all just drop in as folks are available. All the programming and times and event information is on our website. And really we hope people will engage with this. 2 of the events will be recorded and available for later if folks aren't able to attend at the time that they're live. That would be the event on Thursday this week with Sue Ellen Christian, and the event next week with the League of Women Voters. So those 2 will be recorded. And then the others, we hope people will will drop in and engage. We are doing a book discussion around the book Julia, which is a retelling of 1984, which was very difficult to read.
I'm sure.
1984 was very difficult to read. This one is no different. It's told from the perspective of Winston Smith's love interest, Julia. So it's a female's take on what was happening during that dystopian story. And so that's going to be a really interesting discussion. Yeah.
Well, really quickly before we wrap here, where do people go to find more information?
To our website, and that address is pwpl.info.
Perfect. Andrea, thanks for sharing tonight. We appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having me in.
Of course. Still ahead tonight, Jim Koski is in the studio sharing how he feels the UP's landscape has drastically changed over the years in life in the 906. And later, with nearly half of Americans likely to develop high blood pressure, a new procedure that's treating hypertension long term. But first, here's your Upers United Volunteer Opportunity of the Day. Another Feeding America mobile food pantry makes a stop in Marquette at the Berry Event Center on NMU's campus this Wednesday. Volunteers are needed from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. To sign up to be a volunteer or check out other opportunities, just head to upersunited.com, and we will be right back.
Sleep better with a new mattress from Kirkish Furniture. We proudly feature Made in the Midwest Restonic mattresses. Try one out today and compare other major brands. Let our sleep specialists help you find the bed of your dreams at Kirkish Furniture.
I'm out of time.
Ducky?
With you. What's on the other?
Our job is providing peace for fallen service members.
It was Stucky's last mission.
We're gonna complete it. Why do we hold back on telling people how much they mean to us?
Yesterday is over. Change is the essence of life.
Toyota is all about having choices, like more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including this built-in-the-USA all-wheel drive Camry that gets a very efficient 34 miles per gallon.
Toyota also believes in the power of personal choice for reducing carbon emissions, including this electrified Camry hybrid with a driving range over 600 miles.
Now choose 4.99 APR financing on a new 24 Camry, or lease one from $305 a month.
The choice is yours. Toyota, let's go places.
Home for CBS is WZMQ 19.
Kiss the cold weather goodbye and embrace the warmth and fun of the Caribbean without leaving your couch. One Caribbean Television is your Caribbean connection, whether you visit the Caribbean for fun or to renew family ties. One Caribbean Television keeps you informed 24/7. Get the latest news, weather forecasts, Caribbean entertainment, and carnival action. If you long for the fun and sun of the Caribbean, download our app now to watch One Caribbean Television on the go, live or on demand.
I'm Rachel Knapp. Watch my reports live from Washington, only on 19 News.
Let's reflect on our life in the 906. And Jim, I guess it's just the way it goes, but the UP doesn't quite look the same as it used to.
No, it doesn't, Sarah. You know, over time, there have been many changes to the UP's landscape, from 12,000 years ago when the receding glaciers left us the Great Lakes, to the arrival of humans who cut down trees and mined the earth. Now there's another force at work, subtly altering the way the UP looks. That force? Dollar stores. No, seriously, in the past few years, they seem to have popped up everywhere. From Brevard to Trinary to Berglund, almost every single community in the UP with more than a dozen people has at least one dollar store. By my count, there are now over 60 dollar stores in the UP. And in fact, if Google can be trusted, there are now more dollar stores in the UP than there are shops with the word pasty in their name. Think about that. Now, I'm not here to rag on dollar stores. I think it's great that there's a business model that allows small, underserved communities like Bruce Crossing to have a national chain store. But the speed with which they've subtly altered the way the UP look is breathtaking. I mean, it took tens of thousands of years for glaciers to carve out the hills and the valleys of the UP. It took humans millennia to cut down the trees and mine the copper. But dollar stores? You drive past Trinary one weekend and see grass. Drive past Trinary the next weekend and poof, there's a dollar store. In the past 20 years, they've almost become the UP retail version of mosquitoes at the beginning of summer. First they're nowhere, then they're everywhere. And I'm wondering if we notice this subtle change because the dollar stores that are popping up around the UP look exactly the same as dollar stores in, say, Nebraska. Maybe if they added something uniquely UP to them, like drawing a Bigfoot or a rusty car out back, they wouldn't stand out so much. But no matter what they look like, I'm guessing that this addition to the UP landscape is here to stay. If someone had told you 20 years ago that one day soon there would be more dollar stores than pasty shops up here, you would have thought them crazy, but you would have been wrong. I'm Jim Koski, and that's another slice of life in the 906.
I feel like that's the tale of the whole Midwest lately. I mean, you're driving down anywhere and it's nothing, and all of a sudden there's a dollar store out there.
Yep, and then there's one across the street and one about 2 blocks away.
Yes, and you know what? As much as we may say that we don't like it, it comes in handy sometimes.
Sometimes, actually, they do, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jim. In health news tonight, 1 out of every 2 adults will develop high blood pressure, which can lead to a host of problems, including heart disease, stroke, even blindness. But many patients either can't or won't take medication. As Dr. Malika Marshall explains, a new procedure could help treat hypertension for life.
When 69-year-old David Leifer was diagnosed with hypertension 8 years ago, his doctor told him to change his lifestyle.
I tried to reduce the salt, the sodium in my diet, tried to exercise some more, and it didn't really make any difference.
The next step, a pill, but his blood pressure still didn't budge.
3/4 of people with high blood pressure don't have it under control. Either they don't know they have it in the first place, or they don't want to take pills. David was one of them.
So he enrolled in a clinical trial investigating whether a procedure called ultrasound renal denervation could safely and effectively treat hypertension. A doctor threads a tiny catheter through the groin into the blood vessels that feed the kidneys and applies ultrasound energy to disrupt the renal nerves that contribute to hypertension. It's quick, minimally invasive, and patients are one and done.
The safety record is terrific. The FDA voted unanimously in terms of safety to approve the procedure.
Dr. Naomi Fisher, director of the hypertension service at Brigham and Women's Hospital, led the clinical trial in Boston. She says the technique doesn't work for everyone, but on average can result in a drop of about 10 millimeters of mercury, similar to a good blood pressure pill.
For a long, long time, we had nothing new to offer. So for those of us who've been in the hypertension field, taking care of patients with blood pressure and really struggling, looking at the global rate of control, this is very, very exciting news.
4 years later, David remains off medication with good readings.
They're telling you there's a chance you may never need to take medication again?
That's what the hope is, and so far it looks like it's going that way.
And he couldn't be happier.
Stay right here. Ariane has one more check on the outlook after this.
Tonight, food pantries have soared on college campuses, one school's innovative solution.
What kind of load does that lift off of you?
And another atmospheric river might bring more flash flooding and mudslides to the west, where the storm heads next on the CBS Evening News.
Your windows are not doing their job, and you're paying the price. Now is the best time of year to stop wasting money and save big. Backed by popular demand, the Window Store is offering triple pane glass for the price of double. And you'll get the most energy-efficient windows at the best prices of the year. Call or visit our showroom today and make sure to ask about financing options. Triple for double is back. Your clear choice. The Window Store.
Save big money with these hot deals at Menards. Get started on your garden. All Burpee seeds are on sale. This 5-tier plastic shelf is just $24.99 after $25 rebate. Black oil sunflower seed is just $21.99. And these 2-wick candles are $8.98 each. These hot deals won't last long. Hurry in before time runs out. Sign up for Menards emails to get more hot deals. Plus the weekly flyer right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards.
PTSD isn't something that is just going to go away on its own.
Treatment works. It helps.
There's no shame in treatment.
Just do it. Your world will be so different afterwards.
It's a warrior sickness. It's not a coward sickness.
Never too late.
I guarantee you it'll help you.
It will change your life.
It turned my life around.
You can find peace.
Never thought I could feel this good.
Walk through those doors, take the step.
Go get help. It's the best and bravest thing you could ever do.
Treatment works.
Those were the days.
Here's to yesterday.
Sundays on MeTV 19.1.
We're already seeing some 25s and 23s out here as we are expecting our lows to be quite chilly, around 10 to 20 degrees. It's going to be chilly in the morning around 7 a.m., warming up to around 41, partly to mostly sunny skies for our Tuesday. And we are on a warming trend. So the iguana is showing we'll see about 39 degrees on our Tuesday across the UP as an average. Your 7-day outlook for Escanaba, some gusts tomorrow up to 15, and then pretty chill for the rest of the week.
Thank you very much, Ariane. That'll do it for us for tonight. Thanks for being here. We'll see you back here tonight at 11:10 Central.